Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Making with Marilyn. Now, if you'd like to make some Valentine's inspired earrings that aren't over the top crazy like the last pair I made that are huge and hearts, then grab some red material, leather, cork, faux leather, whatever you want. Grab something for the back side. I used black, and follow along with me today. Now, I'm going to make these 2-layered earrings. My back layer is black leather, just from a scrap bag that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then my front layer is a red cork, and I got this at Springfield Leather Company, and these turned out really cute. So if you want to make something fun like this without having hearts hanging off your head, grab what you want, and let's get started. We're in Cricut Design Space, and what I'm going to show you how to make is this set of earrings right here. Now, I thought I recorded the whole tutorial, and then when I went to edit it, I found that I didn't, so I'm going to start over. The first thing that I did was I found a square with curved corners, and see, this is a free image, so I dragged it over to my desktop. It's on there somewhere now. And I'll go ahead and close out of that. So now I'm going to click New Project. I want to upload. Notice there's this little comment section or feedback section. We'll see if we can get past that. So I'm going to click over here on Upload. And we did. Now, this is what I did earlier, but let me show you how I did that since I lost my recording. We're going to click Upload Image, Browse. On my desktop, I have my square. It's very simple, so I'll just click on Simple. I'll click Continue. Now, as long as you have this Select and Erase tool, where you click on what you want to go away. So I'm going to click on this outside gray, and it went away all around the square. I'll click Continue because I don't need to get rid of the middle. Now I'm going to click on this right side so that it is a cut file. I'll go ahead and save that. Here it is. So let's go ahead and insert that into our project. Now what I want to show you is how I had to kind of fix this image earlier. I'll make it large so that you can see what the issue is. Okay, notice how this corner's nice and rounded, and this corner down here is nice and rounded. I thought this corner here and this corner up here was a little bit janky, for lack of a better word. So let me show you how I fixed that. The first thing that I did is I changed my square so that it would be 4 inches wide. Now notice it's not quite square, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. Click on the More, that's where it is on the new version of Design Space, the offline version, and then I'll go ahead and make it also 4 inches tall. Now I'm going to go ahead and lock it back. Now, to get rid of this bad side, what I did was I moved my square over so that it was even with the 0 mark. I got a new shape. I just picked a regular square. I need to make this larger than what this square is, at least taller. And then I'm going to place it right at the 2-inch mark. Now what I can do is I can select both designs, and I'm going to slice, because I want to get rid of this right side that I just don't think is very nice. So we have 3 layers to delete: the outside of what was cut off, the inside of the stencil that was used to cut it off, and then this right side of the square. So now I will take this left side, I'll duplicate it. Let me move it over a little bit. Now I want to rotate this by 180 degrees. That's the same as flipping it. For some reason now I can't find the flip function. Earlier tonight when I did this the first time, I was able to flip it. So I don't know what happened, but this will work. Now I'm going to go ahead and change this all to a different color so that you can see what happens here. So I have my two halves. I'm going to move those together so that they line up at the top and the bottom. Now I'll go ahead and weld them. Okay, that looks good. Everything looks really nice. Now I'll go ahead and turn this back to black. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to turn this 90 degrees. No, I want to turn it 45 degrees. There we go, not 90 degrees. Okay, so the other thing is I want to get an exact square, so I want my height to be the same as my width. Now I want the height of this earring to be 2 inches. So I can just take this down like this till I get to 2 inches, or I can put it in the height or the width. Okay, so that's my first layer. I want to duplicate this for my red layer. So I'll go ahead and turn that red. And then for this layer, I want this to be about 1.6 inches tall. So again, just go to size, change it to 1.6 inches tall, and this is what we have. So my earrings will lay just about like that. Now I'm going to do one more thing just for future in case I want the shape. I like the way this square is really rounded off, so I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to duplicate it again, because what I want to do here, let me turn this purple. I want to make this a little bit smaller and then put it inside of this black square. I'm going to move it to the middle, and then what I'll do next is take it, slice it, and get rid of the middle. I can get rid of the middle of that, and then so that this doesn't cut on the same mat as my black square, I'll turn this purple. Let's move it out of the way. So now I have the earrings up here, and I need a second earring, so I'll go ahead and duplicate. Now we're going to go ahead and send this to the maker, so I'll click Make It. And it did sort my mats by what color I'm using. So I have my black background, my red cork leather, and then I have the purple layer that I just won't even use. Now I want to move these down and over a little bit so that I can have tape around them and contact paper under them. So I'm just going to move them down so that I know if I go at least 2 inches down and 2 inches over from the left, that I'll get a good cut. When I get to my red mat, I'll have to do the same thing. By that time, my camera will be turned around and you might not see that, but this is what I'm doing for both mats. I'll click continue. Then I'm going to look for genuine leather. So I click on browse all materials, type in leather, and then with the leather I'm using, I've had success with this genuine leather setting. So I'll select that, click done. It wants me to make sure that my star wheels are not in the way. It says to send them all the way to the right. I have a couple to the left and to the right. I need to make sure I have my deep point blade in, and then I can load my mat. So I'll change my camera angle around and we'll keep working. I have a brand new strong grip mat and I was so proud to show it off. And all I did was I set my leather down and look, I already have bad stuff on it. So don't do that. It's not a good idea. I can't believe I did that. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put, this is just your basic contact paper that you can buy at Walmart. Here's a roll of it. I bought white. I thought I'd use it as transfer tape, and you can't see through it, so it's not good to use as transfer tape, but it is good to put down under your materials. So I'm going to go ahead and put it sticky side up. Remove the backing. Now, I'm going to put the pretty side of my leather down. So I'm not too concerned with all this being off the white, but where you make your cuts needs to be on the white. And we'll see if I should have put the whole thing there or not here in just a minute. Maybe I should have covered under all of that or trimmed my leather down. I just don't like to trim my leather down because I feel like you trim off some that ends up being waste that didn't need to be trimmed down. So I'm brayering that down really well. This, I'm just going to barely stick it down. And then I'm going to tape around my leather with this super hold Scotch tape. Okay, we're going to call that good. Go ahead and send them. Oh no. Okay, Cricut gives you those warnings for a reason. Remember, have the star wheels out of the way so it doesn't run over your material. And then this is just the premium fine point blade. I need the deep point blade. So I always press out the blade, clean it off, and then just drop it in. These are super simple to trade blades on. Now we can load the mat. And we'll send it to cut. What the heck? I'm plugged in. Okay, well this is not good. This is the first time that I've cut using the offline version. And even though my machine is hardwired on, right in the middle of the cut, I get an error notice that says we're unable to connect your machine. Please check your USB Bluetooth connection and try turning your machine off and back on. If you still need help, click here. Oh, okay. Okay, so that unloaded my leather in the middle of the cut. So that's a little bit frustrating, but let's see what we get. Okay, so the machine had cut around this square twice and the square under here just once. So I think I'm going to take this square up Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel that cut. I'm going to turn off the eyeball on one of the black squares. Then I'll click Make It. I'll move my earring so that it's down in this area down here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, a little over 4 inches down, a little over 2 inches over from the left. Now I cut out some more of the contact paper so I can lay it under there. Okay, so let's see what we get. I click Continue, and then again I'm going to have to find leather. Genuine leather, done. Tells me again to move my star wheels, make sure I have the right blade in. I'm going to go ahead and check it. It looks good. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so it made it through that cut without shutting off again. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often. If it does, I'm sure people are letting Cricut know and they'll figure out what they need to do. Okay, this little square, just teeny tiny little fiber holding it on. There we go, twisted it and it just came off on its own. Now for the red cork, I am going to cut it down because it will stain my brand new standard grit mat if I don't either cut it down or put this contact paper all the way under it. So I am going to go ahead and cut that down. It's going to take up more material because I left my squares on an angle because you can see in this cork there are lines going across, and so I need it to cut on the angle. Otherwise, if you cut it straight, then your earrings, all these would be going uphill or downhill, and I don't want that. So on my screen, let me show you, I do have these earrings on an angle. So I'm going to go down 2 inches and over 2 inches, slightly less than that, so that I have some excess under my red. Again, you're putting this on sticky side up. I want this as straight as possible because of the lines that are in the cork. We'll go with that. Now I haven't found that tape is really all that necessary on the cork unless your mat's bad, and this is a new mat, but I am going to go ahead and use it anyway. It's inexpensive and it's just a nice little piece of insurance. Now with the cork, I've had a lot of luck on the faux leather setting paper thin, so I'm selecting that. It's reminding me that I should have mirror on because you're putting the knife side down, but because mine are very symmetrical, I don't need to switch that. I have default pressure. It wants me to have my fine point blade, and I had my deep point blade in, so I'll get that switched out. Okay, so hopefully this time the machine makes it through the entire cut before it thinks I'm not connected, but I am hardwired connected. I'm not just connected by Wi-Fi. I am truly hardwired into my machine, so I'm not sure why that happened. It will only make one cut through these. It made 2 passes through the leather, but this will only take 1 pass to cut it. Excellent, we made it through, so let me unload this and get this closed up. All right, so let's see what we get. That's under the tape, so it looks like it's not coming off easily, but it's just because it's taped. So you can pull your mat down, and that allows that material to lift off a little bit. That way you don't have to use your fingernail and scratch it. Now notice, let me set this here. Notice how there's a little edge here that didn't get cut through for one reason or another. That does happen once in a while with the cork. Not real often, but I'm just going to snip that off. With really dark genuine leather, what I like to do to clean up those frays, and you can probably see the things that hang off, it's basically the back of the leather, the extra fibers. So I take a lighter, and from the back side, angled so that I'm not going to let it touch the front side, I just run along the edge. Now you can see that it took care of most of the frays, and that was super quick. What it didn't take care of, I'll just go ahead and with my nice sharp scissors, I turn it over. I angle my scissors so they're never going to touch the front of the leather because I don't want to accidentally cut off a piece of the front. I'll just get anything that might be left. There we go. That didn't take too long at all. Now, I have had some people comment that there's some products that you can use to clean up the edges. I have not purchased any of that yet, so that might be something I'll do in the future. But for now, I just have to go with the old-fashioned way. So you can see the frays again. That looks great. Now, the scissors that I'm using, they are Fiskars Amplify, and they're razor edge. It's Amplify razor edge, and they are so nice. I got them right before Christmas at Joann's with a half price coupon, Actually, it wasn't a half price coupon. These were doorbusters and they were half price. And I've never owned such a nice pair of scissors before. And I'll tell you, with leather, it is really nice. It makes all the difference in the world to have a nice quality pair of scissors. It has made my job a lot easier. Okay, so here's the way the earrings will look. The next thing that I need to do is I need to go ahead and punch some holes in my earrings. This is a tool that I got at Harbor Freight, and with a coupon it was about $6. I used the smallest size right here, 5/64. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to place this down just very, very gently on my earring where I think it should be. And then I'm going to take it out of the view of the camera so that I can have it really close to my eyes and make sure that it's where I want it to be. I like that. So you just squeeze. Let me get that in the camera. And you probably heard that cut. And if the hole doesn't come out, you can either just use your fish hook or whatever you're putting through your earring to punch it out, poke it out, or you can use a weeding tool. Sometimes they fall right out and sometimes you just have to shove them out. Okay, so I'm going to place my cork on the earring. And I want my cork to be up pretty high. I don't want it to be down so that you see black up here. I just want it to cover over the black. Line those up. Okay, I don't want to cut through both layers because then this hole in the red could get a little larger. So I'm just going to kind of poke where I think it should be. Now let me look at that. Okay, now the leather tends to come out, but the cork, I don't know if it's just the fabric is so dense that just the pressure of the cork holds it in and you just have to poke it out, but it is what it is, no big deal. I'm going to use this blackened metal for my earrings. So I'll put 2 fish hooks out, and then I'm going to use 2 6mm jump rings. I would love to be able to put the leather and the cork directly onto that loop so that they're not moving around too much, but I know from experience that it's just too thick to do that, and so I use a medium-sized jump ring to add to it. And when you are using just one jump ring, and you see here on your fish hook, the loop is from front to back. If I turn it sideways, there it is. For your earring to hang correctly with just one jump ring, this loop needs to turn 90 degrees. So I'm just going to grab it with some needle nose pliers and then hold really well here with my thumb, and I'll twist my hand so that the fish hook turns this way. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, that looks pretty squared up. I like that. So again, just grab onto it twist, and straighten it up. Okay. I have this little jump ring tool here that I'm going to use to open the jump rings. First thing I do is I find where the opening is, and on this on this jump ring, it's right here. So I'm going to hold on to a lot of the jump ring up and down right beside my opening. Place the jump ring into the smallest slot or slit that you can fit it in, and then you just twist your tool towards you. Hopefully you can see that that jump ring is now opened up and ready to use. So I'll place my red layer on it first, then my black layer. Then, let's see, it needs to go this way, so I'll just put the fish hook on the front and drop it there. Okay, so now you're just going to grab onto, let me move this a little bit. Okay. Grab onto this side. I would typically like to have more of my metal on the on the jump ring so that it doesn't want to bend, but I feel like that's as good as I'm going to do. Then take my jump ring tool, put it over my jump ring, and then twist the two back together. There we go. That looks really good. Now, if you haven't done earrings before, you do not want to, let me grab this jump ring. So on this jump ring, the opening is in the middle up top. You do not want to take two sets of pliers and pull it apart. You want to twist it instead, so it's opening side to side. We'll go ahead and open this second jump ring. The hole's right up here, or the opening is right up there. So here's my earrings right here. I think they turned out super cute. Now, if you don't want movement in this layer, if you don't want movement in this top layer, then you could put a little E6000 glue or some leather cement between the two layers and press them together exactly where you want it. But I want to have a little bit of movement between my two layers. Sometimes I don't. In this case, I do. Here's the other one. Super cute. Now, if you found anything in my video inspirational or helpful, or gave you any ideas, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comment section. And if you'd like to see what I'll be working on in the future, hit that subscribe button. Then, if you want to know when I upload new content, also click the bell. I'm Marilyn. Bye-bye.